A fighter plane taken down by a pistol. Sounds impossible, right? But in 1943, somewhere over the dark Pacific, one American pilot did exactly that. This is the true story of the unthinkable shot that shouldn't have been possible. War is full of impossible stories. Some are exaggerated, some are forgotten, and a few are so unbelievable that they sound like fiction. This is one of them. A story about a single bullet fired from a Colt 1911 pistol that brought down a Japanese Zero fighter in the middle of the Pacific War. For decades, this event lived inside top-secret files, buried in military archives, dismissed by historians, and rarely mentioned even by the men who survived it. But every word of it is true. And today, you're going to hear exactly what happened. The year is 1943. U.S. Army Air Force's Captain John Owens is flying a B-24 Liberator on a nighttime reconnaissance mission near the Solomon Islands. The ocean below is a black void. The cockpit glows with dim green instruments. Owens and his crew of 10 men are alone in the dark, miles from friendly territory. And then, without warning, hell arrives. Tracer fire rips through the night. A squadron of Japanese Zero fighters dives out of the darkness, guns blazing. The hull shatters. The tail section crumbles. A flaming engine spews sparks into the wind. The B-24 is dying. The Zeros swarm like sharks smelling blood. Fast, precise, merciless. They carve the bomber apart from every angle, above, below, behind. Owens shouts orders, but the controls are sluggish. He knows the truth. They're not going to make it home. Engine 3 erupts into flames. Fuel leaks streak across the wing. The bomber is seconds away from breaking apart. Owens has no choice. He issues the command every pilot dreads. Prepare to bail out! But commanding a bailout is one thing. Executing it is another. The bomber's interior is filled with smoke and sparks. Some crewmen are injured. The jump door barely opens. And all around them, Japanese fighters circle back for another attack. One by one, the crew moves toward the open hatch. Below them are shark-infested waters, pitch-black waves, and no guarantee of rescue. Still, Owens forces himself to stay calm. His responsibility is simple: get his men out alive. But then the nightmare gets worse. 1-0 breaks formation, banks left, and lines up directly on the open doorway. The pilot intends to strafe the men as they jump. A war crime, yet common in the Pacific. The B-24's defensive guns are gone. No turrets, no machine guns, no protection. The Zero pilot knows he has them. He closes in, confident, steady, ready to kill helpless men standing in a doorway. Gunfire erupts again. Rounds slam into the fuselage. Metal shards blast through the air. Owens realizes if he doesn't stop this fighter, his entire crew will die before they even jump. He glances at his useless instruments. No guns, no gunners, nothing but smoke, flames, and chaos. Then he remembers something. One last weapon he still has. Owens grabs his standard-issue Colt 1911. He sprints to the hatch, braces himself, and leans outside into the roaring wind. A pistol against a fighter plane. It makes no sense, but it's the only chance they have. Owens raises the .45 caliber pistol and fires. The first shot misses. So does the second. The third. But Owens keeps firing, timing each shot between violent jolts of the bomber. The Zero grows larger in the doorway. 50 yards. 40. 30. He squeezes the trigger again. This time, something changes. The bullet strikes a vulnerable point. Maybe an ammunition belt, maybe a fuel line, maybe even one of the pilot's own rounds. No one knows for sure. But what happens next is unmistakable. The .45 slug hits metal and triggers a chain reaction, a spark, a flash, a catastrophic ignition inside the Zero's wing. The fighter erupts in a fireball. Debris spirals across the sky. The Zero disintegrates as if struck by lightning. Owens stares in disbelief. He actually did it. He shot down a fighter plane with a pistol. The remains of the Zero streak past the B-24's open hatch. Its burning engine drops toward the ocean like a comet. The Japanese pilot never recovers control. Owens has bought his men a miracle. With the immediate threat gone, the crew begins to jump. Parachutes open like white flowers against the sky. Below them, the B-24 continues burning, losing altitude, doomed to crash. For the next several hours, the survivors drift in the open Pacific, cold, exhausted, terrified, but alive. Because Owens took a chance no sane pilot would ever take. When rescue finally arrives, their story spreads through the squadron. Investigators interview every survivor. The wreckage of the Zero is found floating in the water. The kill is confirmed. Filed, stamped, classified. The event becomes one of World War II's strangest and least known combat reports. Today, the story lives as a reminder. War is chaos. War is terror. War is impossible decisions made in impossible moments. And sometimes, when everything is falling apart, one man, one weapon, and one impossible shot can change everything. This is the true story of the pistol that shot down a Zero. If this story surprised you, you're not alone. History is full of unbelievable moments just like this, buried in forgotten reports and fading memories. If you want to hear more true stories from World War II, make sure to like this video and subscribe. It helps keep these memories alive and ensures heroes like Captain Owens are never forgotten.